I actually intended on talking about, and I'm going to now. This is a dynamite ultra shallow bait. What we're dealing with right now is that wintertime conditions. When with our first fishing trips of the year, this year, there's going to be a couple of tools that you're going to start catching fish with right away. There's a couple of them, like a jerk bait is one of them, you know, in the ultra cold water. A rattle trap is at the top of the list. It is one of the best cold water baits that there is. It really functions well in falling water temperatures, cold water. You know how hard it is to find a bait that excels when the water temperature is falling in the cold water? There's not very many of them. And that's why years ago, back when I fished in the Federation, that's one of the mantras that I developed is cold front, rattle trap in the spring and the fall. You get a cold front, go to the rattle trap, because when you get that cold front, you get that water temperature dropping, you move away from trying to make fish bite and make fish eat something, and you move over to triggering the strike, getting the reaction strike. You gotta change, and you gotta start ripping things out of grass, slamming them into wood and rock, yo-yoing them off the bottom, and triggering strikes. That's what you gotta do. But this is a dynamite little cold water bait, and it's a terrific shallow water bait. You know, I use it when the grass is just becoming emergent in the early spring. That's one of the best patterns around, you know, when that grass is just starting to grow. Slow rolling that rattle trap just so it takes the tops of that grass, and it will continue to be effective right through until that grass is almost mature and those fish start falling. But one of the things that I like to use a lot of guys don't, is the quarter ounce model, especially in the ultra shallow water, which is the topic of this seminar. The half ounce is what I use probably most of the time. 3/4 ounce I use a lot in certain places that have big fish and big bait. I'll go up to the 3/4 ounce. Don't often go to the 1 ounce, but I have them and use them sometimes. But the half ounce is what I probably throw most of the time. But the 1/4 ounce in that ultra shallow water is key, because one of the main things is you don't have to bully it through that shallow water. You know, you can fish it a lot slower. You can fish it with a lot more finesse in that shallow water, and it catches big fish. Don't be fooled again by its size. That bait catches big fish.
Well, they're the same thing.
They're sinkers, yeah. I do have the floating and suspending models, and I've had some limited success with both, but mainly when I'm throwing this bait, I'm throwing a sinking bait. And I think that has a lot to do with the triggering of the strikes. Now, there's a lot of different baits out there. Everybody's got the lipless crankbait. I know that the Strike King one that wiggles when it falls, that's a really nice triggering mechanism. Some of the Japanese baits have some real lifelike artwork on old school. I'm using rattle traps, you know, and it's kind of gotten to a point where you go to these places that everybody's got the newfangled, Ruka Shad or this Lucky Crack or Mega Bass thing. Nobody's even hardly throwing rattle traps anymore. But I still catch an awful lot of fish on the rattle trap, so that's what I use.